Hey guys, if you're having issues with roaches and you don't know how to get rid of them, well, you're in luck because I'm going to talk to you exactly about how to get rid of roaches. My name is David Nunez, your friendly neighborhood bug man. And what we're going to do today is we're going to discuss how to get rid of roaches and the pest control secrets that your pest control guy may not tell you. If you have roaches and you're looking to get a pest control guy and you're maybe considering to do it yourself, just let's go through this video real quick and I'm going to show you exactly how you can do it yourself. So real quickly too, just want to let you know I do have a guide here where I go through all my step-by-step strategies, how I approach houses, and I'm going to show you all the secrets that I have for getting rid of different types of pests in your home. Roaches is one of them. It's only $27. It's less than a night out, you know, to eat. But here we go. So getting rid of roaches, guys, it's more of a it's more, you can't just spray a roach with a raid and think that that's going to kill the colony. You have to think about killing the colony and treating the colony instead of just treating a single roach. You have to have a strategic plan, and we're going to get into that. Um, Identifying the correct roach, you don't have to really be know exactly what roaches are. Just remember one or two things: small roaches, bad; big roaches, you have some time. The reason why small roaches are bad is because small roaches are usually German roaches. The most common smaller roaches are German roaches or Oriental roaches, but German roaches, they populate quickly. They reproduce offspring within like 6 to 8 weeks, so they're constantly turning new offspring. And so American roaches, like brown banded roaches, you're gonna see them. They're bigger. They're a little bit more intimidating and ugly, but they're not going to populate as quickly. So you still, it doesn't really matter what type of roach you have. This will, this will, the type of treatment that I'm going to share with you today, you can use it with any type of roach. Um, so let's talk about harborage elimination. So determining the level of infestation, inspect your home thoroughly, to gauge how severe the infestation is. If you're seeing maybe a few roaches every week, you have like a mild infestation. Now, don't get me wrong, to some people, that's a big deal. But if you're seeing them every day and you're seeing them during the daytime, that's a big deal. Okay, so you're seeing a lot of roaches. There's a lot of roaches in the walls. They're hiding in different places that you can't really get to. They might be behind in or behind your oven, your refrigerator, your dishwasher. They could be hiding in a lot of different places. So the level of infestation is something you want to take into consideration. So as far as harborage just means places where they can hide and hang out. Just remove clutter. You want to fix leaky faucets and drains. Um, you want to vacuum behind and under appliances because that's where roaches will tend to congregate. And sanitation is crucial. Like if you have grease buildup in your oven or your stove, um, that's where that's food for roaches. So you could have a totally clean house and have different areas where they're still feeding off of different things. They feed off of just about anything. So you could have old soap that they're feeding off of soap residue. Um, you could have dirty dishes that they'll get into your dishwasher and feed off of that at night. Make sure your food is all stored in sealed containers and make sure you empty the trash every night. So let me see, product selection. So These are I don't have a lot of experience with green products, but I do have experience with products that are work and that are safe. So let's talk about gel baits, and it's JEL, not JAL, not gel bait. Ah, let's talk about gel baits. And so these are pretty effective because they they take the bait, they eat it, and then it kills them later on. So you can apply this in crack and crevice areas along their travel routes. And what you want to use is non-repellent gels. And that's what most gels are. Some common gels that you want to use are Advion and Max Force. Those are just common brand names. I'll have a link in the description, or you can look it up. Um, to get those. But basically, you're gonna be placing these in different areas, like in the hinges in your cabinets. You can place them like in different areas in your kitchen area, if that's because people mostly have roaches in the kitchen area. And then you rotate the baits periodically to prevent resistance and buildup. But if you're doing all these things at once and you're have a whole regimen of things that we're doing, um, then you shouldn't have to be rotating gels for over a long period of time. You should be able to get rid of roaches within a few weeks. So, and let's talk about insect growth regulators. These are called IGRs. Um, these interrupt the cycle and their reproductive cycle, and they prevent future generations of roaches growing. So IGRs can come in like little puckets. That's the Gentrol point source. And then they can also come in a liquid, which I recommend. So if you're spraying, if you what I usually do is I mix my non-repellent spray with an IGR, insect growth regulator, together, and the areas that I spray inside the property, which is going to be um, like the baseboards along the crack and crevice areas, like underneath the sink, behind the refrigerator, like um, you can spray like along you know the washing machine, the areas where rodents will mostly, I mean, not rodents, I'm sorry, roaches, excuse me. So the areas where roaches will usually travel, that's where you want to spray. So IGRs, I usually recommend a liquid IGR, insect growth regulator, and but Gentrol point source, they're little like bucket stations, those work as well. So, and dust. You could try boric acid dust, diatomaceous earth. I use something called Tempo. I think it's Tempo D dust. So I use a pesticide dust called Tempo dust, and you want to apply this like you can spray these some in like electrical outlets where roaches like to go into, under appliances and wall voids. So you want to make it uncomfortable for them. So this dust, once you spray it, it can last several years. So sprays, we only want to use non-repellent sprays for the inside. So if you're treating outside, that's kind of different. You can use a repellent spray that repels roaches away from certain areas. But as far as in the inside, you want to use a non-repellent spray. And a good one to use for the inside is called Alpine WSG. And then there's another one called Temperate FX. There's multiple non-repellent sprays. And what non-repellent sprays do is they're not detectable to roaches, and they allow roaches to get in certain areas without detecting the pesticide, and they get it on them. They're in community, so they do come in contact with each other. They share it. Once they die, sometimes they eat each other, and it'll spread that way as well. Yeah, so if you spray over baits, you want to never spray over bait placements because it destroys the bait effectiveness. And also with repellent sprays, you want to avoid spraying repellents indoors, because what that does is that does repel the roaches, and it does not allow them. You don't want them to be repelled. You want them to walk over your spray. So where to treat? You want to treat behind refrigerators, stoves, dishwashers, inside cabinets, um, especially hinges, corners, um, drawer tracks. That's where roaches like to hang out. Under sinks, cracks and crevice areas, kitchens and bathrooms, wall voids, interior perimeter, including baseboards, just a few inches away from the wall. And as far as safety precautions, just inspect. Keep all insecticides and baits out of reach of children. Guys, usually when you spray, when it's safe for, it's usually safe for people to be around it, children and pets, when it's dry. So it's a water-based solution. So it dries in about 30 minutes, depending upon how much you've sprayed. But usually your sprayer is just a mist that you're applying onto the interior, like the cracks and crevices, the corners, the baseboard areas. So that usually dries in about 30 minutes to an hour. So an hour is kind of a long time for it to dry. If you've applied it correctly, it should take about 20 to 30 minutes for it to dry. In normal temperatures. I'm here in Arizona, so it's usually a little bit hotter outside. But always read the product label instructions for safe handling. You always want to wear gloves. You always want to wear long pants. Wear some eye protection. Just get a set of goggles. Anywhere. Um, and I always wear a long sleeve shirt. But the product, if it gets on you, it's not the products that I just talked about, the Alpine WSG and the Temperate, it's not going to irritate you. If you just get it on you, just wash your hands. Just wash that area. So as far as monitoring and progress, sometimes you want to place sticky and glue traps to see what kind of activity you have. Place those underneath your sinks, find appliances near suspected nesting areas, and give it about seven. I would give it about 1 to 2 weeks before I retreat it. Just give it about 1 to 2 weeks, because what happens is roaches will walk through product and they'll get it on them, and then the product is no longer thick in that area. So if you want to you're going to need to retreat if you're still having activity. So you just want to retreat in about 2 to 4 weeks. You can expect visible results in 7 to 10 days. If you see dead roaches, it means that it's working. That's what we want to see. But just give it about 7 to 10 days to see results, and then you can retreat if you need to in about 2 to 4 weeks. So long-term prevention, just seal cracks, seal wall gaps, like plumbing penetrations with a caulk or foam gun. Install door sweeps so they can't get in. Inspect the kitchen and bathrooms every month for early signs of reinfestation. And if you want to do like preventative treatments, you can treat I would treat my house every 2 to 3 months with Alpine in the inside, Alpine WSG, just for like preventative measures. Um, so if you have any questions, or you'd like to get your full guide, go to how to get rid of bugs.guide. Once again, that's how to get rid of bugs.guide to get your complete guide on how to get rid of bugs. And I'll show you my step-by-step strategies. And I can show you my proven methods for ants, roaches, termites, and more. All right, this is David Nunez, your friendly neighborhood bug man.